Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to RV Daydream. We got some catching up to do, or actually, I've got to catch you guys up with what's going on.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
First and foremost, there's no RV there. Don't worry, guys, we're going to see it again. It's sold. Just so everybody knows, it's sold. The guy wants it really bad, and guess what? He wants it for the same reason that we do. He's got a place that he's renting down by the lake. Actually, he is renting out the house that Heidi and I moved into when we first got married back in the early 90s. Anyways, at some point, though, he's planning on heading south. As you can see, the yard needs mowed, and it's because we've had some hot days, but mainly rain days. But let me talk about the hot day first. Kind of a big deal because just a few days ago, we had an 80-degree day, and that's a big day, big deal in Ohio because that was the first 80-degree day that we experienced since October of 2018. So that was very nice that we at least got to see that peak. We're going to head into the RV here and talk about some stuff here shortly. But first, I want to address one of the questions that a lot of people have, and it has to do with these steps. Oh, look. I parked my son's van close to the RV. Look how close I'm parked to his van. Actually, his van's parked to me. 51 inches. 51 inches to be exact. So as far as the parking distance, whenever you get into a truck stop, things might be kind of tight. I don't necessarily remember the trucks being this close, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to some of my old footage and look through our camping, and it's probably something I haven't published, and I'm going to see if we were ever this close to a tractor trailer. Here's what it looks like. We're next to some pond scum swamp or something back here. I don't even know what all that is. It's kind of odd. Somebody's got a little trash pile here. I got to do a walk around to the camper and make sure everything's okay. And we got a truck that pulled in next to us, and man, is he really close, but I'm close to that yellow line, so not my fault, not his fault, just a circumstance. Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to a noisy campsite. Well, we are heading out of here, and I didn't get much for sleep, but I thought I'd show you guys what this place looks like in the morning if you've never stayed at a Pilot or Flying J. What we're trying to do is find a dump station. I know we were pretty close, but I don't know about this close. And why am I bringing this up? Because a lot of you have concerns, and rightfully so, that the reasons that you don't like these type of steps that we have is because you can't necessarily put them down when you get in close quarters. I'm going to have to say truck stops are the only thing that I can think of right now that we've ever been relatively close to anything. So let's go ahead and put the steps down so you can see how close that is. You basically, I already know, need about 4 foot straight out for those steps to clear. Now, of course, if I was parked next to a vehicle that was real close and they had big mirrors, that might be an issue. But let's go ahead and try this first. I don't know, that seems awful close. I just can't imagine. How close is it for real? How close would you have to be to somebody? And let's put it in more perspective than just giving you dimensions here. How far under your awning would somebody have to be parked if you were at a campground? I think that's a pretty good example of how close somebody would have to be for the steps to be an issue. That's just way tighter than I've ever had anybody ever park to me, with the exception of truck stops. Now, that was a good point that somebody brought up, or a good solution also, that if you're at a truck stop, let's say the trucks are relatively close, just like I said, maybe they are this close to you. What you do is you can get a tether, a rope of some kind, and just raise and lower the steps when you go in for the night. So basically, of course, we would never put down this set of steps necessarily, or vice versa. We'll never put down these steps here. And then whenever we go in for the night, open the door all the way, go ahead and have the tether, the rope that you would tie around the bottom there, and just pull them up for the night. Again, they're spring loaded. It's not very heavy. You just have to get them started, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Go ahead and put it in the comments down below, because I've had people that really have issue with these steps based on what we're looking at here. And 4 foot away seems like it's awful close to me. But at truck stops, I think that we might have been in that situation. So all we have to do is make sure that we're staggered. Make sure that maybe we're a little bit deeper, or maybe we're facing on an end spot or something like that. That may limit us for night stays and where we're sleeping, but it's one of the accommodations that I'm happy to make for having these steps for the other 98% of the time that we're going to be out using them. I sure do love this awning though. Man, am I getting lazy or what? These automatic toys. So let's go ahead and address the topic that came up in one of our other videos that I posted. I think we got a lot of non-subscribers that might have jumped on there and commented, but anybody that may have subscribed, I wanted to go ahead and address that straight on. Rockwood dropped the ball. The units overpriced that you bought. They're junk. The dealer dropped the ball. All that stuff as far as the inspection. And I don't think that I clearly explained what happened. We went on the Rockwood tour, and they test every unit. They test every system on every unit while it's at the plant. It's part of their process. I don't know how to describe it. It's not like these Amish guys just decide, you know what, let's just skip this one. They take pride in what they're doing up there. You have to go take the tour to see that. You would understand it then. So all these systems were tested at Rockwood. I have no doubt about it. I mean, they register the serial numbers on the furnace and all that stuff, and all the stuff has been tested. I mean, we watched it go down the line, and not this specific unit, but we watched other units getting built, and they were testing every single one. First, they pressurized the water system. They run all the water, and that goes on for like a couple of stations. The hoses just kind of follow along. Then they do the LP system, and they pressurize it. They got to check for leaks. I mean, that's a major deal, checking for leaks. If they're not checking that furnace for leaks, then there's an issue. So I'm sure they tested it. So now, going to the dealer. The dealer got it on a Friday, and we weren't able to pick it up for at least like 6 or 7 days. They were busy, but he said that they had to go through their whole systems check, their pre-delivery inspection. And I have no doubt they did that. The unit was full of water. Everything had been run, dewinterized, and they installed the battery. They filled the propane tanks. They did everything they were supposed to. And I'm sure that they tested all the systems just like they said. There's got to be a certain level of trust. I mean, I'm not going to go buy a brand new car and then before I leave the lot say, well, have a technician come out here. I want to see that it has oil in it. I want to see that the transmission fluid is filled. I want you to fire it up. I want to see how hot the heater gets inside there. I want to see how cold your air conditioning gets, there's got to be a certain level of trust. And I don't want to waste my time for them to go over every single tiny knob and switch and button when I know what it does and what it's supposed to do. I have to trust them. Now, if they burned me on something, I would go back. Now, for the third thing, and this is, really going to change your mind on it, I'm sure. We had this thing running for, I don't know, probably about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. We had the furnace running when we first got it home. And then it started this slight little ticking noise that became a clicking noise that was a loud click, almost a knock, but basically you guys heard what it sounded like. So I have no doubt that there was a defective inclusion, most likely, in the plastic making of that squirrel cage by the manufacturer. And I'm talking about Suburban, the manufacturer of the product. It just happened to be a defective squirrel cage, and it came apart. I didn't see anything else that could have caused that. There was some bending of the outside case, not a lot though, and even if that outside framework got some bending to it, which is real easy to do, I could just push my hand on it, just enough to not even get up, and it would put a dent in it. It would have to have broke the plastic housing that the squirrel cage is in. It wouldn't have. It wasn't broke. There was nothing wrong with it. So that cage had to have been defective, and it just happened to fail on me. I mean, it's just, those things happen. I mean, so to say, the dealer dropped the ball or Rockwood dropped the ball, nobody dropped the ball. Something broke. I mean, it just broke. And getting into the way that we went through the inspection at the RV dealer, I was more than happy with the way that it was handled. We could have just as easily said, turn on the hot faucet, turn on the hot water tank. I want to see the hot water tank get hot on gas. And then I want you to cool it off entirely. And then I want to see it get hot on the heating element. I want to see it shut off automatically. I mean, you see, where does it stop? At what level does it stop? I mean, just to turn on everything and to see that everything's running, I don't have a problem with them saying, we've checked it all out, it's ready to go. Again, if they had a reputation of burning people and handing off units that they didn't do anything to, that would be another story. As far as void the warranty, I've never seen anybody that's trying to screw anybody, and I really hate with, traveling through this great, journey of life, always looking for the negative. It's one thing to protect yourself, but to always think that guy's trying to screw me, that guy's trying to screw me, and the whole system's trying to screw me, that almost comes off, conspiracy theorist to some extent. The RV industry has motive to make money. I understand that. As far as people saying, well, you worked on your furnace, it's going to void the warranty. Please, send me a PDF or a URL in the comments that shows distinctively that I cannot repair or maintain any component on my RV and it voids the warranty. I've never seen any. I mean, there's just none there. So as far as people saying you have to take it to the dealer and he's got to be authorized, and for that dealer to do the work and it be authorized, yeah, you have to do that for the warranty so you can get it done for free. But as far as the work getting done itself, they can't void my warranty on the rest of the furnace just because I made one repair on it. And even if they did, you guys seen what I did with the warranty. I made a couple calls, I asked for some parts. That's all I want is parts. I don't need them to actually do the work for me. I can do all the work. I want to do the work because when you get into things, you're going to see other things that are wrong. If you guys become repair people like me, or if you are already repair type person or mechanic, once you get into a repair on something that's new, you're going to find out other stuff. I mean, the amount of brain power that it takes to open this thing up and make the repair, for me, is very minimal. So the whole time that I'm working on it, I'm looking at other stuff. And when I was in there, I saw that the gas hose was supported by a wire tie that had a screw in it, and that's from the factory. That's the way it's set up. And that screw is to run into a cabinet and keep the gas hose off of the hot unit. When the unit gets really warm, they don't want that hose rubbing up against it, and the fact that you're traveling down the road. They don't want that hose moving around for obvious reasons. They don't want it to work its way loose. So they have a wire tie, basically, a zip strip. It has a provision for a screw. And where they secured it was just an inexpensive panel, a real thin panel that's underneath there. Just kind of like a shelf divider or a space divider. And I went ahead and removed that and put it up on framework. Solid piece of wood that was used to support a shelf. So that's supported even better than what it was. And I also made sure that the routing of the wires were out of the way. Now remember, that's something else too. I never disconnected the gas and I never disconnected the electrical on this. So as far as the furnace is concerned, all I did was pull it out and repair a part on it. That's just like, what if you took your furnace out of your RV and you cleaned it and you put it back? Is your warranty voided because you cleaned that unit? I mean, that's just crazy as far as I'm concerned, because I don't think that they would void the warranty. And again, I'm not about the warranty. I'm about the parts that I need to fix things. Let me fix them. Okay, so off that topic entirely. To catch you guys up on what's happening with us, you seen the RV was sold. The guy came, he really liked it. Again, it fit the bill for everything that he wanted. He's never towed an RV. He's never had an RV. So we got into discussion about his truck, and that was the nice thing about that RV. He said, just, can my F-150 pull this? Well, he had a 2011 F-150, and I started checking the specs on it and the gear ratios and everything that he had, and I said, yeah, you're rated to pull a 6,000-pound trailer, and this trailer empty is 4,300 pounds. I said fully loaded with everything we possibly could think of, including about a half a tank, so 25 gallons of fresh water. The unit's only weighed 5,500 pounds. We've never gone anywhere with it weighing more than 5,500 pounds. And not only that, I made the deal with him that whenever he was going to get his weight distribution set up, because I told him, I said, you just need to go down and buy a whole new weight distribution system, take it to the RV dealer, let them set it up for you to make sure everything's okay, because they have all the parts on hand for that. And as far as adjusting the angles and all that, since he was a newbie to all that, I said, let them tell you what you need. And he didn't have a brake controller that was from the factory on his truck either. So I told him, you need to buy a brake controller. So the deal is he has an appointment at the RV dealer. He's going to come up here, pick me up at the house in his truck. We're going to go down to his house. We're going to hook up to the RV, and I'm going to tow it up to the RV dealer for him. And then on the way home, he can go ahead and pull it, and I can tell him, what it should feel like and everything. Because it's just, he's a new RV, an RVer. Now he's an older guy. He's in his 60s, but he said, I've towed trailers. He said, I've never towed an RV before. And I think he's going to be, they are really excited, but I think they're going to be really happy. And I gave him a ton of extra stuff. I gave him the high definition rear view camera that mounts inside the truck with another camera that he can mount on the front of the RV or on his truck or whatever he wants to do, that works in conjunction with the camera that was on the rear. Again, it's a high definition one. I love that camera system. That was a good one. But of course we have one now with this RV. And also I gave him a brand new, of course, spare tire that matched the other tires. I got them all at the same time. Of course, with a rim and everything. I also gave him the cover, our RV cover. We've had it for 3 years. We covered it for two of the years or 3 of the years. I can't remember. So I said, here's the cover. It won't fit our new one, in case you store it, which they don't plan on doing it. They plan on going down south, but they said there could be a chance that they might leave it somewhere for an extended period of time. So they got the cover. And I also gave him a 22-gallon Blue Boy, because we had 2 Blue Boys. I know you guys seen that in the past in our videos. When I'm in the garage, they're hanging up behind us. We only use one, and we've never really had, I thought at some point we might actually use the other one. Well, we never did, so that all went with it, and he was really happy. Again, everything's working out for him and his girlfriend, and they're going to be able to go do all this traveling, which I'm really excited for him. Actually jealous. They're probably going to be traveling the country faster than we are, because they already sold all their. He sold his house, he sold everything that he owns, and he's just renting this little tiny house until late autumn, and then he's taking off. But he wanted to get the house sold. He put it up, and it sold faster than they thought, so they got rid of everything with the house, and they moved down there, and he started looking for an RV, and he was really excited that ours was ready to go. All right, so what else have we been doing? Well, I had to go. My son flew back in from the state of Washington. He's been out there for a month hanging out, so we're probably going to end up start working on his van when we get some warmer days here, because even though we had that 80-degree day the other day, just a couple days ago, it's been in the 50s, and which it's not bad if it wasn't raining. That's the main thing, because his van, we can get the nose of it in the garage, but it doesn't. Our garage don't have enough length to be in there working, so we can't have it raining and everything running off the roof of that van down into the garage while we're trying to make repairs on it. He needs a tune-up and a bunch of other stuff, and then we get to finish out the back, which of course I'll be shooting video for that. You guys will see it. So he's back at the house here, and the big news is our daughter gave birth, and we are now grandparents to a baby boy, which we knew was a boy ahead of time, and he was a big boy. Just to give you perspective on it first, you guys may have seen my daughter driving my old truck in a previous video. My truck's coming home finally. We'll figure that out. And my daughter's driving it. Wait till you see how tiny she is. I can't believe she's driving this truck without having phone books underneath her butt or something.
I made it.
You did make it. I was shooting a film real quick showing how tiny you are
Compared to your truck?
compared to the truck. Like, you don't even come up to the... Oh, yeah, you're taller than the mirror.
I made it.
Oh, that's funny.
Your truck drives all over the road, so it's really hard to control.
It's just
I
a characteristic.
I hate your gas pedal because it wiggles.
And she's tiny. My daughter's 5 foot tall, and I think before she got pregnant, I think the heaviest she ever weighed was 128, I believe it was, or 120. Somewhere in that neighborhood. So 5 foot 120, and the baby was 8 pounds 13 ounces, and it was over 20 inches. So it's kind of a bigger baby and a longer baby. I mean, it's just short of 9 pounds, and he was pretty long considering she's 5 foot and 20 inches and a little bit was baby in her. That's a lot, as far as portion of her body. So they're home healthy, everything's great. Heidi's actually out there today. So moving forward, we're trying to get motivated here to the point where we can actually start getting stuff in here. Some of our camping stuff. I mean, we just don't have anything in here, and we don't know exactly what we want to bring. It's kind of a slow process because we're sorting through things again now that we have the RV, and saying, do we really need this? Do we really want this? And we're finding there's a lot of things we're saying no to. So basically what we're trying to do is get all the stuff that we're going to be putting supposedly in the RV. We're going to probably get it out to the garage, and then from that point decide, okay, is this going in for sure, or is this a yard sale item? And also, we have to get ourselves set up with a hitch. Remember, we just threw some stupid, cheap weight distribution hitch that I kind of cobbled together, just so I could get the RV home. So we need to figure out the whole hitch situation. As you guys remember in the past, I was talking about the Hensley design hitch. I know I say Hensley a lot, and I kept on referring to it as a Hensley hitch, but we've looked at the Hensley, we've looked at the Pro Pride, which is the other Hensley hitch, which, that's the 3P hitch. We like them both equally. They're both pretty much set up for the task. The best that you can get as far as towing your trailer and controlling sway, it comes down to how much better are they than a standard weight distribution. Standard weight distribution handles sway. Don't get me wrong, it will address sway to some extent. It doesn't eliminate sway, it just addresses it. And the thing is it does a pretty good job. But you know, you got to get in the situation or the frame of mind of, you know, I'm traveling with my, you know, my new vehicle with basically what would be our home down the road. How much peace of mind do I want? Ensuring 100% that I don't necessarily run into a situation that I might get some kind of a weird wobble going on because I didn't go with the hitch that's there. You know, some people actually say, hey, that's a scare tactic thing. They want to scare you into... Listen, I've towed our RV all over the place, and it's a little tiny RV, and we got into some situations where it moved around behind us, especially when I had my F-150. You know, I could feel some weird pushing going on. It's unsettling. It's not a comfortable feeling. I want the peace of mind that the thing's just back there doing its job. And one of the things that I found really amazing out of all the stuff, I mean, there's a lot of things I think great about these hitches, but I spoke to Brent out at Pro Pride, and one of the things he said that was probably the most exciting to me was that the hitch does extend out from your vehicle to some extent, a little bit more than what a standard weight distribution hitch would. You know, the weight distribution hitches as they are, they kind of stick out from the back of the truck. Well, this adds even a little bit extra room going on there. But what that affords you with the way that those two bars, you know, pivot is, and it, this is great, a turning of 87 degree. Come on, that's 90 degrees. We're talking like that. You know how sharp that is? That is crazy. 87 degree turning angle. You know, of course, you got to be careful not to put your bumper into something that you shouldn't, but still, that is sharp. That is a very sharp turn. I can imagine getting into some pretty tight spaces with the range of 87 degrees. I mean, right now on a lot of our RVs, I would think that 45, you know, I've never checked. I'm guessing it's probably a little bit better than a 45 degree angle, but man, almost 90, that's, like I said, that's a right angle. You have your truck parked this way and the RV parked this way, or I should say, when you're backing, you know, you could get it that way. As far as re-hooking up to something at that angle, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's crazy. That is really crazy. So that's where we're at right now, and I can't think of anything else I can get you up to date on. So I'm going to try to get this video posted for you all today because, like I said, things have been happening and we haven't been able to document them. Really excited, though, about this RV and camping season, trying to get ready for going out and actually doing something. Again, if you guys haven't watched our previous videos, we talked about the fact that, you know, we've got a newer truck and we've got an RV. You know, all that play money that I used to have is going kind of towards payments at this point. So we still have to work around, you know, and think about trips a little bit more harsh as far as, you know, can we afford to go do that? And right now it's looking okay. So we'll keep you up to date and hopefully we can see you out there. Bye.